We're about a week away from reopening the playground here, and it's looking fantastic. It's certainly vastly better than it was before we started, and I think it's going to potentially work really well. But what I'm most worried about is how the staff are actually going to work in this environment. It's not enough to have a good environment. They're going to need to come out here and really come to grips pretty quickly with how they use it. It's a real mindset change, and we knew that was going to be a hard thing to do. There really needs to be interesting things happening out here for children, and that means educators need to be doing interesting things as well.
It is a very intense project. It was a very intense thing for myself and the staff, and I think we all had our little moments all the way through.
I need to retrain myself to go back to start doing it again properly. Instead of, I've been doing time fillers, I guess, and just rushing, get through the day, which I shouldn't be wishing the day away. You know, they should be learning, they should be having fun. I should be having fun. Someone said to me once, you know, maybe you should think about getting a new job, and it's like, well, yes, but I don't want to lose my job. You know, I do enjoy my job, I don't want to leave.
It really stretched me, trying to accommodate for everything. We had to actually have every aspect filmed, so it was making sure that our working bees lined up with the filming. Can do all trades, they had to be gone by a certain period of time, so the pressure was on to actually get the materials, get everything done.
Especially when you're in the middle of something, something big like the quality improvement plan, but also like preparing for an assessment visit and also being part of this project. I think it's pretty exhausting for her trying to keep on top of all of that at once.
She's been doing a lot of this on her own with very little support. And it's challenging personally for her because actually some of the things we're bringing that's being raised through this process are actually quite challenging and for some people could be very threatening.
I just thought, you know what? Anywhere you go, you're going to have challenges. Any job you're in, you're going to have challenges. And I love where I am. I love Campbell Street. I love the kids, the families, the staff, the board are wonderful. And it's more than just a childcare centre here to me. And I've taught a lot of these children. That's what's probably kept me here. Luke and Judy's expertise has been really wonderful for myself as young director, because me also being in a stage where I am still evolving my practice. We all need professional development and we all need to keep developing, and when you get a bit blasé and you think, okay, we're doing really well, we don't need anything else, that's when you don't learn anymore. How can you learn if you think you know everything already? We wanted to make sure that we transformed our program, and we wanted to get that started and do some professional development with the staff, because we were figuring it out as well.
It's hard for the staff if they've never been trained and they don't understand. That makes it exceedingly difficult to talk about things like philosophies.
It's been around 5 months since we started and the outdoor space is finally ready. The children have had limited outdoor playtime for over a month, but at last they can enjoy their first day outside.
What do you like the best in our garden? The rocks or the deck? Rocks. I like that. I have new plants. Those leaves are turning into flowers.
Do you like the new rocks as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do on the new rocks?
Step on them.
We're experimenting a lot more with inside-outside play because of the indoor-outdoor. I think it gives them more choice. So the children who want to be outside, they can go outside, but then when, depending on what we have inside, they'll choose to come back in.
These boys obviously like the outside play.
It allows a bit more independence, so they actually regulate themselves a lot better.
I think it's less stressful. We're not trying to constantly run around after them and make sure that they're not hurting themselves. I've noticed a lot of changes in the behaviours. They're not arguing as much, they just play together as a group more. The mixed age group is working really well. I think the older children tend to take a lot of care with the younger ones.
Now that there's an enclosed area within the playground for the babies, there's finally space for them to go outside.
Now we have the door open, so there's no indoor, no outdoor. It's one room now. They can get outside, they can play, they can interact with other children, get the have sunshine.
Being able to go outside has meant a big change for the nursery children. When everyone was inside all day, their efforts at climbing on the furniture were frowned upon. Now they have the ability to climb, crawl and walk when they want, and they seem to be taking full advantage of the opportunity. For very young children, the ability to move and explore independently is a key developmental milestone. Learning to crawl, stand, walk and climb all takes practice. Inevitably, such practice involves tumbles, but tumbles are what lead to learning. In a space like this, children have the ability to stumble and fall without risk of serious injury. And importantly, that means they now have the chance to practice their skills.
Allowing the babies to play outside has been great, but it's also been challenging. We're not used to having this kind of space or the opportunity for the babies to physically explore their environment in this way. It's really made us rethink how we define safety and what we think is the right level of risk, especially when it comes to the babies.
Such discussions are not always easy, and not everyone will agree on what is a safe level of challenge.
The height thing does scare me, especially with the younger ones. The fear of them breaking their arms, and that's our duty of care to look after them.
We had discussions, especially after Luke had discussions with the staff. What we did need to think about was just what we were comfortable with, but also going a little bit out of our comfort zone and just trying some new things.
Taking the time to carefully observe how children are actually using the space and the equipment can help to put the fear of injury into perspective.
Said to the girls of a morning, I'll come out and I'll set it up. And that way, we can all come, and I ask them, are you happy with this? We're just a bit worried about the metal, because they're slipping and some of them are still, not real sturdy on their feet. But they did well yesterday. So I think I'm feeling a lot better about them today. Still not great about having metal, but I'm feeling better, and I think a couple of weeks, I think I may be okay with it altogether.
I was a bit sceptical at first because I thought some things were a bit dangerous, but have come to realise that things are fine and the babies are fine.
If we're not letting them do it themselves, I guess they're not going to want to try and do it themselves either. If we're not letting them do it, we're saying no, they can't, they're not going to try.
Let them do it and find out what they can do for themselves.
We had accreditation last week, Monday and Tuesday, and I know the staff, they came in to me at the end of the first assessment day and just went, look, this is great, it's fine. And it just had a way of putting you at ease. Whenever we came to a point where we were working towards or working on something, obviously we discussed the quality improvement plan, and they were aware of the different strategies that I put in place because they'd read through it. So it was easier to demonstrate how we were working towards and how we were moving forward. Once they had seen what the centre was like before the project, they were actually really impressed, and they couldn't believe the amount of community involvement and family involvement in the service over that period of time, and also just explaining to the assessors how it's gone in to affect different parts of the quality improvement areas. It's changed our staffing, it's changed how we're going to roster, it's changed all these sorts of things to allow for more predictability for children.
It's been more than 6 months since we first visited Campbell Street, and over that time the changes have been pretty amazing. They've gone from what was a bare, run-down environment with really very little interest for educators or children to an environment that's much more engaging, much more interesting. I think there's still a way to go, but I think they've made a really huge first step. You can really see the changes. Talking to educators, you can see they're more relaxed, they're more engaged. For a start, they're wanting to come to work.
What's changed is children are actually spending more time outside now. And so outside's not just a place to run and let off steam as perhaps it was before. So more things that perhaps traditionally just happened inside, like reading books to 1 or 2 children or to a small group, or art materials, are now outside as well for children.
Thank you everybody for coming to our launch of our yard. First of all, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all the families, the board, staff, everybody who's been involved, our community organisations, Early Childhood Australia, and everybody who's made this possible.
Probably the biggest thanks needs to go to Tanya and all of her absolutely wonderful work pushing this forward. It has been a little bit tough. It is a little bit difficult, I suppose, when someone comes in and says, look, the way you've been doing things needs to change. And I really respect the way that she's reacted and responded to this challenge.
We couldn't have done it without the wonderful director that you have here in Tanya. She has been amazing as part of this project, and at times it's been really hard for her, but it wouldn't have happened without Tanya, and I'm sure lesser directors would have all thrown their hands up in there and said, this is too hard.
Makeover's been really good. I think it looks really good. The kids are really enjoying it because I know they spend a lot more time outside.
I think the outdoor area for the babies' room is awesome. They just, you know, just watching them play in there, and they love seeing each other. And Olivia often comes like, oh, I played with Edie today, and it's really nice. And I think it's made the transition for Edie into daycare more positive and easier.
It's really good. It's improved the kids' outdoor time, and Romany's energy has doubled, especially running around the track.
Which for Andrew, because he's an outside sort of boy, he likes it, so I think he gets a lot more enjoyment and he's settled in a lot better.
Yeah, and whenever I turn up, they're always out rolling or having races around the track, and Romany likes to lead all the kids as they run around the track.
My experience, every day she's telling me about something about new in the playground, and she just loves to come here. And but yeah, it's just been really good. She's been so excited to come to daycare every day.
Tanya, this is looking fantastic. So different to what you had before.
I know, it's wonderful.
How does it make you feel when you look at this and think about what it was like just a few months ago?
I think that I realised how awful it was.
Yeah.
Just how boring it was, and you know, how unsafe it was in terms of risk and hazard. You know, there was just no risk, there was no challenge. At the start of the process, I guess it was, I was embarrassed from our backyard. I mean, it was just horrible, and it felt like we couldn't do anything. Our hands were tied, there was nothing we could do. I guess it got to the point where I felt like I'd had enough. When I'm walking in every day, and if I'm seeing the same thing all the time, and you feel the same way every day, you're just downtrodden.
Did you get used to it?
I don't think I ever did. I don't think I got used to it. I think I always knew that it was horrible. You know, ever since I've worked here, I guess I had this mental barrier up that I felt like I couldn't do as much as what I wanted to do, and it was frustrating. And I think this project gave us an opportunity to get expertise and to get people to come in and help us.
Let's get up. Yeah.
At the end of the project, it feels joyful. Just the magic that I feel in the area when we walk around it. It's not bare, it's not barren. It does promote what we wanted, you know, imagination, creativity, and hopefully it'll inspire it in all of us, and not just the children. It's something that, you know, the staff have said to me, it feels great. You know, they have something that they're going to, and they can go and explore it with them, and you know, just the little aspects of the environment now give it that risk, that challenge, and it makes you really want to be out here. It makes, like, I walk here, I come in every day and I'm just so happy to look into the backyard.
And how have staff been
uplifting.
with it? Staff happy as well?
Yeah, really happy. And I think, you know, they're happy now that they're not policemen. You know, they're not, their focus isn't supervising, their focus more now is enjoying as well as supervising.
Is it hard for some staff to change their ways of working?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, it's hard to change that perspective. It's a process. And I mean, in terms of even safety and our idea of risk versus safety and hazard. And I know some staff are struggling with that, but I know that I really applaud them because they're very open to thinking about, okay, you know, they are a bit hesitant, but they're also trying new things and they're considering new things, and I think that's where you start. I think this project's definitely opened a can of worms for our service. I think that if you can't identify in your service what needs improvement and what is wrong, then you can't move forward and make a plan to improve it. You know, like I said at the start of this process, one of the first things I always thought about was, is that safe? You know, it's challenging us personally. It's challenging our values. It's challenging what we feel is right for the children ourselves personally. So let's think about the children. Let's think about what they're capable of. You know, they're capable of doing a lot more than we're setting to challenge them with. So it's about making sure that, you know, we're providing for that and that we understand that as a staff. They're capable, you know, they're able, they're little human beings and they have a lot of potential, and we just need to make sure that we're allowing for that.
Over the past 6 months, Campbell Street's really been transformed. And not just the physical transformation that we can see here, it's been a transformation for educators and also for children. We've really seen a quality improvement plan in action. And as we've said all along, what it highlights is how important the physical environment is for underpinning good practice across all of the 7 quality areas. This has laid a fantastic platform here at Campbell Street. Now it's up to educators to think about how they use that platform. How do they extend it? How do they support it? How do they maintain it? How do they ensure that children's learning continues to happen? And that's the real challenge.